Good afternoon, everyone. I am Kristen Bisinga, and I am assigned to discuss about discussion, other elements of literature-based instruction, assessment. But before that, here are our learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, students will be able to discuss the importance of children's literature discussion, enumerate the other elements in literature-based instruction, and develop a deep understanding on assessment for literature-based instruction. Okay, let's start with our discussion. Book discussion in classroom create invaluable opportunities for children to delve into literature through shared reading experiences. This discussion will help teachers to guide their students in exploring the message, themes, and moral lessons they can get in reading literature. So in this picture, can you spot the difference? Yes, it's correct. It differs from animation in the title itself. So aside from that, it has also a different story. So I have provided a group discussion that took place in Annette Bonsky's first class. So as the student listened for the first time to David Wisner's postmodern The Three Little Pigs, always remember, it differs from the story Three Little Pigs. Can you read the script? Okay, thank you. So what did you notice? The discussion is getting interesting because children already see the difference between the version of the tale. They exchange ideas and argue based on their observation while the teachers reading aloud the story. So as the story proceeds, the children are in familiar territory. In the story, the pig built their house made of straw, sticks, and bricks, and then suddenly, wolf threatened them. When the wolf rolled the straw and then the one pig said, "Hey, he blew me right off the story." So because of this line uttered by one pig, children started getting confused. In this, you can observe the children having a hard time understanding the line and ate the pig up. So if you notice, the teacher did not interrupt but rather encouraged each of her students to listen to each other and then let her students discuss the literature itself. So through this kind of discussion, you can help your students to learn and widen their perspective in the world of literature. They will realize comparing literature based on versions. So even the teacher is struggling for integrating literature that has different version of what students are reading and familiar of. But in this discussion, teacher was able to handle and manage, and by that, students are given an opportunity to explore more about literature. Now, considering this deep discussion, teacher talk practices encourage students what they know, what they already know, and what they can do with the knowledge. In this discussion, the teacher acts as facilitator to guide the learning of the students. Now, let's proceed to the other important elements of literature-based instruction. But first, let us define literature. It is a reading instruction approach where students are exposed to authentic literature in the classroom, rather than a phonics approach or a vocabulary-based approach. So the focus of literature-based instruction is specific literature that is deemed quality and authentic. Students are given a specific literature that is considered as authentic, means original or high quality, which is something relatable to the student. Like for instance, the entire BSED English 2A students read the book Harry Potter, with comprehension quizzes, unit tests, vocabulary instruction related to the novel, and assignment that corresponds to the themes. Here are the elements of literature-based instruction. Let's start with phonemic awareness. Okay, so phonemic awareness, it's about understanding how sounds in spoken language relate to reading and writing. It means paying attention to the words, the sound of the words, breaking them down into smaller parts like syllables and individual sounds, which is phonemes, which helps in learning to read and write. Here are some examples of activities that help develop phonemic awareness. We have here clapping to show different parts of sentences and words, like clapping for its syllable in word. Next, we have sorting pictures based on the sounds they start with, like matching picture with objects that begin with the same sound. The next step for students after phonemic awareness is to learn phonics, which involves understanding the relationship between letters and sounds. So as students grasp this connection, they can decode words by applying their knowledge of letter sounds corresponds to read and write. Beginning readers need to become fluent in decoding, which means breaking down letter sound pattern in words and blending them together to recognize and understand words in their vocabulary. So here are some examples of activities that help students practice phonics and decoding skills. First, we have here world-building activities where students create new words by changing letters or sounds. Next, world-changing activities where students modify words by either removing or substituting letters. Next, we have composing sentences or stories on paper or a computer to apply their understanding of letter sound corresponds in writing. Next, we have fluency instruction. So in this, it involves practicing reading simple text and writing to help students read smoothly with accuracy and expression. When students can quickly and accurately identify words, they have more mental capacity to use their overall language knowledge to understand what they are reading. This fluency allows for better comprehension and engagement with that text. So here are some examples of activities that support fluency instruction. First, we have here modeled reading, where a teacher reads aloud to demonstrate fluent in reading. Next, oral reading, where students read aloud to practice reading with accuracy and expression. Next, we have using digital software or tools that provide reading practice and feedback to improve fluency skills. Next, we have vocabulary instruction. So in this, it involves teacher engaging in everyday conversation with students and providing instruction on academic language skills. This helps to reduce the vocabulary gaps that students may have when they start school and enhances their oral vocabulary and understanding of concepts. So students' vocabularies grow as they encounter new words repeatedly, both during literacy activities and subject-specific lessons. Here are the examples. Teaching language skills for discussing books such as introducing terms like plot, character, or setting to enhance students' literacy discussion. Next, we have teaching academic vocabularies specific to different subjects to help students understand and communicate effectively in those areas. Next, we have deepening students' knowledge of words by exploring synonyms, antonyms, and context clues to expand their understanding and usage of vocabulary. Next, we have comprehension instruction. This helps students understand what they read. It teaches them strategies to make sense of different types of text and how they are organized. For example, students learn to identify how a story is structured or to discuss what they read with others. Carefully choosing the right books also helps students understand and enjoy what they are reading. Next, we have writing instruction. This helps young students become writers by providing them with opportunities to express themselves through drawing and writing. In the beginning, their writing may include drawings and phonetic spellings as they sound out words. These early writing attempts show that young learners understand basic written convention like direction of writing from the left to the right of the page. For instance, next, we have explicit instruction on language. So in this, explicit instruction on language is crucial for developing fundamental literacy skills, providing students with the tools to understand and create language. By teaching students how language functions, they can better analyze and use language effectively. Successful reading relies on students' ability to decode words and apply their language knowledge. Examples of explicit language instructions are the following: seizing teachable moments to reinforce language concepts during other lessons or activities. Next, we have using mnemonic devices or strategies to help students remember specific details or nuances of languages. For the last one, knowledge building. In this, it's about how the more you know about a topic, the easier it is to understand what you read about it. So when you read and understand the text, it adds to what you already know and helps you learn new words. The teacher can help young students learn more by teaching them about different subjects like science and social studies. The examples of knowledge building includes, first we have here reviewing what you already know to deepen your understanding. Next, we have engaging with language through discussions and activity to enhance learning. And lastly, we have here exploring various types of text and genres to expand knowledge in different ways. Okay, so that's for the other elements in literature-based instruction. Now let's proceed to assessment. So, assessment in education is about collecting information regularly to understand each student's progress and learning needs. In language teaching, assessment involves gathering data and evaluating a student's understanding and proficiency in using a language. It helps teachers tailor instruction to meet individual student needs and track their language learning journey. Okay, we have here assessment activities used for literature-based instruction. Let's start with formative assessment. So formative assessment, when teachers use both formal and informal methods to evaluate students' progress during the learning process. The goal is to adjust teaching and learning activities to help students improve their understanding and performance. Next, we have here authentic assessments. So, in literature-based instruction, it involves observing students as they read and interact with literature, evaluating the work they create during reading activities, and engaging in conversation with them to understand their thoughts and actions. So, this approach focuses on assessing students' real-world skills and abilities in a natural and meaningful context. Next, we have here formal observation. So in literature-based instruction, it involves a teacher sitting with a small book discussion group and carefully observing their interactions. So the teacher evaluates the group's effectiveness based on specific criteria that were shared with the students beforehand. This structured observation helps assess the students' performance and understanding. The last one, the use of tangible products. In literature-based instruction, the use of tangible products involves children engaging in response activities that result in tangible outcomes such as painting or written work. This can include activities like reading tests and students evaluating their own success and progress by creating portfolios that showcase their work over time. These tangible products serve as evidence of students' learning and understanding and progress in literature-based instruction. So, any question, clarification? That will be all. This is Christine Bisinga. I hope you learned something.